G'day YouTubers, I'm going to try something different. I was asked by two brothers at TJ Cards, so follow them at TJ Cards, to create a show for the AFL team coach. So here we go, I'm going to give my attempt at doing it. I did select the team last week, but it did pretty awful. So yeah, here we go for the second week, but however, this is my first video. So let's start. So I've got to select my tips for the round 4 gather round. Let's see who I choose. Before I start, it will be appreciated if you can subscribe to my channel. Please help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Alright, here we go. Let's select my round 4 tips for this week. Who will I select for this week? Right, the first game between the Crows and Melbourne. Based on Adelaide's disappointing start and Melbourne's brilliant win against Port Adelaide, I'm going to select the Demons. The second game, Brisbane and North Melbourne. At Norwood, no brainer, I'm going to select the Brisbane Lions. The third game between the Power and Essendon, that will be a good game. The Power lost to Melbourne by 7 points, and Essendon beat St Kilda in the thriller last week. So, because it's in Adelaide, Port has the home ground advantage. I'm going to select Port. The next game, I won't even bother talking about. I expect Sydney to demolish West Coast. So I'll tip the Swans. Match of the week between Fremantle and Carlton. Both teams undefeated. I'm going to pick Carlton with the two powerhouse forwards of McKay and Curnow to kick a winning score. On the same day, Saturday night Adelaide Oval. Tough one. Bulldogs with Geelong. I'll tip the Caps. They beat the Crows 2 weeks ago on a Friday night in Adelaide, so they've already won Adelaide Oval 2 weeks ago this season. I expect the Giants to beat the Gold Coast, so I'll tip the Giants to win. Even though Richmond upset over Sydney, I'm still pulling my head for St Kilda to beat the Tigers. And the last game of the week, I reckon Collingwood will do it pretty easily, so Collingwood will win. So these are my tips for this week. Alright, I've hit the enter button. Now let's select my team. Alright, stop star power. So you've got to select our mighty midfield ball, defensive dynamo, next generation, and the trailblazer. So far, I've got Nick Dacos, but he's been struggling this season, so let's choose someone else. Based on the last round, Dacos averaged 101 points. Who did better? Parrish from Essendon? What else? Oh, Sheasel. That was on Good Friday. Interesting, 126. Jack Steele, St Kilda. Or the Bont, that he kicked 3 goals and 16 disposals, so he played more forward against West Coast. But surely, for this week, they'll play more in the midfield. Who's North Melbourne got? They got Brisbane at Mount Barker. The ground is not as big as Adelaide Oval, so there might be more congestion for him to get disposals. Ooh, should I keep Nick Dacos? Dunkley against North Melbourne? He may get a lot of the possessions. I'm just trying to see. Dangerfield's injured. Oh, that's right. Noel Anderson had the bye last week. So the GWS Giants, Josh Kelly. Who else can we select? St Kilda against Richmond. Still will get the ball, given that Crouch and St Kilda has so many injuries. He's got a good chance of getting the possessions. Because Collingwood is playing Wolf 1, we'll keep it. We'll keep Nick Dacos, so we'll stay with this. Stick with this card. Okay, star power. GWS had to buy last week, so Tom Green didn't score anything. There you go, 0. Taranto, but he was best on field with 35 possessions. I'm not sure he can repeat that again. And in my other YouTube video, I've got Tom Green leading my Brownlow votes, so I'm going to stay with Tom Green. He's going to I reckon he'll get 30 plus possessions against Gold Coast and kick a goal or two. So I'm going to stick with Tom Green. Neil looks good. Maybe I'll swap him for another player. Defense. Oh no. May's injured, so I didn't get to score anything last week. Miller was out. He done his ACL, so I'm not going to pick Miller up. Who else is? Redmond. Oh, that's right. Came back from suspension. Oh, Hayden Young. He's playing more midfield, so he's going to get playing possession. So if I can fit both Redmond and Young, that'd be great. Stewart takes so many intercept marks. I know he took a world record 10 intercept marks against the Crows 2 weeks ago. Let's try Hayden Young. Yep, let's use this card. All right, Hayden Young, here we go. Next generation. Nick Martin. He had a world record for Essendon. I think it was 45 possessions last week against the Saints. I'm assuming he won't repeat that again, so he might not get 45 possessions. So I'll just see what other players we can pick. Ward did okay, 85. Wardlaw, 70 odd. Warren Francis is injured, so I won't pick him. Owens and McDonald and Hugo Hagan are forwards, so they won't get much disposal. Gimby, good young midfielder, but West Coast is playing a young side, so they will struggle. I'll stick away from West Coast players for now, unless it's Harley Reid. If he's averaging 30 plus possessions, then I might change my mind. Okay. The Conging, yeah. He's on play against Luke Jackson Rock against Freo. Maybe not. Or Rayner. Who's Brisbane got? They've got North Melbourne, so I'll consider that. Martin's more of a midfielder, so Martin or Ward I'm looking at. We'll change on Martin. I would have kept the Kong, but given that he's playing against Luke Jackson, who gets more the ball and more clearances and hit-outs, I was expect Jackson to get the possessions and all that against Conning. So, but I'm happy with my change to Martin. So, yep, let's use Nick Martin. Star power. So, Gorn, what did he score last week? 146. That's right. He dominated against power. I think he had like mid-20 possessions and won a lot of hit-outs. So, can he repeat that performance again? The Demons are playing against the Crows, so Gorn is athletic, so he would do better around the ground against O'Brien. And if he runs as a loose man in defence, because I reckon watching the game on telly, he did get a lot of possessions in the back half. So the way the Crows are playing with their ball movement, going not too fast, pretty wide and slow, and eventually, once they go down the line, they'll eventually bomb it to the 450. Then Gorn could basically stand in front of Walker and take the intercept the mark, but however, then Lever could do the same thing. Like, given that May's injured, they will need another person to take some intercept the marks, and I think Gorn can do a bit of that when the ball goes into Melbourne's defensive 50. But let's just see who else is there. Wines is not going to play this week, so he's injured. So exclude him. Parker's still injured. Liver. He did okay. When I think West Coast lost 76 points to the Bulldogs. Based on all that, I think Gorn will have a good game on the weekend against O'Brien and the Crows. So let's stay with Max Gorn. So I don't think, I'll stick to Dacos. Okay. They're my 5 Silver Star power players that I've selected for this week. So for the Mighty, I selected Nick Dacos. And for the midfield ball, I'm not going to change. I like Tom Green, so I'm definitely keeping him. And one player did change. Defensive domino is Hayden Young. He's got one of the best kicks in the league, so he's kicking so elite. So as a Fremantle supporter, you want the ball in his hand. But I guess for this game, we just want players to get lots of possessions and don't be concerned about their kicking efficiency. Nick Martin got the ball a lot, 45 times last week, but I'm expecting not that much for this week's game against the Power. Even if he gets 30-odd possessions, hopefully he still scores 100-odd points. And Gawn, I expect him to do well against the Crows and dominate him up against the Crows, Ruckman and O'Brien. So yeah, I'm happy to stick with these 5 players. Next, I clicked on. So that was the silver. All right, next is the Ultra Star Powers. For Mighty, who did I have? Josh Dunkley. Any decent players? Yeah, no Dangerfield, he's injured. Sicily in Hawthorn system. Not doing too well in terms of scoring, racking up points. Dawson does get plenty of the ball. Sheasel does get a lot of ball in defence in the back half. I'm going to swap. Let's try Sheasel for this one. Yep. Speaking of Sheasel, I'm hungry. I feel like eating some Cheezels. Okay, for the midfield ball, who will I select? So we've got Tom Green at the moment. Neil, Sarong. I think Sarong only had like 21 possessions against the Crows last week. Previously, in the past 2 games, he had like mid-30s possessions in round 2, and round 3, round 1, he had about 40-odd possessions. So before the Crows game last week, he had 70-odd possessions in 2 games. So that was an average of like 35. I'll think about that. That's the wrong at 21 disposals, and he had 118 points. So if he can just get close to 30 possessions, why not? He can score more. Nah, change my mind. I'm going to select Sarong based on that. Yeah, May's out, so scored nothing last week. So which players can I select? It'll be either Young or Redmond. Any other players that's tempting? One of these 2 players. Young is playing purely as a midfielder, so definitely let's choose Hayden Young. I do like Redmond, but we'll stick with Young. Next generation. As I did previously, we'll go and select Nick Martin. Trailblazer. Oh, Gawn or Heppel. Gawn, as I mentioned earlier, given that he's playing against the Crows, he took a lot of marks, defensive 50 against Port Adelaide, and he'll be playing against the Crows, Ruckman O'Brien, which Gawn has some more aerobic ability to cover the ground and athletically, so there's plenty of opportunities that he can gather lots of possessions. So let's lock in Maxi. Okay, so that was the Ultra. Alright, that's my video for this round. The Star Power. So I did the Star Power Silver and the Star Power Ultra. We'll see how I go for this round. Yeah, my ranking is pretty poor at this stage. Didn't score anything for round 3. And see what I get for round 4. Cheers. Thanks for watching. That's the end, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and comment on my channel. Every subscriber will be appreciated.